welcome to Entombed.
Good to see you all again.
Good to see you.
Cheers. This is our entering into January. We're excited because today we're going to do a deep dive. This is the first real episode of January.
Yeah, that's true. I get you. Picking up what you're putting down.
We're really good at communication with each other. But what have you been reading? What's on your nightstand?
I started very briefly, so I can't even really speak about it. The Vegetarian.
Oh, right. Okay.
By an author whose name I'm forgetting.
Honking.
Oh, Honking. But I'm literally at the start, but I thought it was, the opening was great.
Okay.
So that's all I have to say. That's all I'm reading right now. I just finished listening to the witchy book, The Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still on a hunt for another audiobook, which I haven't decided. I'm having a weird moment in time where I don't know what I'm in the mood for. So The Vegetarian is definitely satiating that, but I don't know what I want to listen to, if I want to listen to anything at all, or if I just want to be reading The Vegetarian.
Well, my first read of the new... I'm kind of reading, per usual, multiple things at once. But my first read of the new year was... I always say the title wrong. It's what I like to call verbal dyslexia. It's by Sachar, and it's The Magician of Tiger Castle. But I'm going to make sure I'm saying that right. The Magician... Yeah, I did do it right. I always call it the Tiger and the Magician or something. Anyway, so it's his first adult book. You might know Sachar from Holes.
Oh, yeah. Famously.
I
didn't read the book, but I saw the movie or show or whatever.
Oh, I never did. But the book is great. But this was his first adult book. And it's interesting. Great, we're doing good. It's interesting because though it's an adult book, it feels like it could easily still be a children's book, except for that the narrator is the magician who is an adult of this Tiger Castle. But it feels like a fairy tale or a fable kind of read. So I listened to that. That was the first book I listened to of the new year. Finished it. I recommend it. It was a nice, gentle read to start the year in. And then I'm currently finally listening to The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern, which I had was one of my do not finishes last year.
Do not finish this book.
Do finish. I had tried reading it last year, and for whatever reason, I think because of life events, couldn't get into it. But I'm listening to it now, and it's kept me in this, in listening, it just feels like you're in this enchanted world.
I listened too, and I really liked listening. It is definitely not really a plot-forward book, but it's mystical magical.
No,
and
but
it's enchanting.
It's enchanting.
Such a good
and I
description.
As I've been getting ready to, try to get back my energy for the new year, it's kind of kept me locked in this zone. So that, and then I'm still, I mentioned this a few episodes time, but I'm still reading Storyland, New Mythology of Britain. I just read a couple myths a day. Wow, the rain just started coming again. And then I'm also reading Cat Country by Lao She, which is for our next episode, our dystopian episode.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that book by the Holes author, what was his name?
Sachar.
Maybe I'll look into, I read a book at the end of last year by H.G. Parry that was a retelling of A Tale of Two Cities, and the name of the book is escaping me, something about
Let me look for H.G.
a far greater... I can't remember the title, but she has other stories. She has a magician.
A Far Better Thing?
Yes. It was really good. I really, really liked it. I do recommend it to you. I think you would like it. And then she also has The Last Fairy Door and some magician's daughter thing.
I have that one on my shelf if you want it.
I think I'm going to listen. So I as my next audiobook, maybe I'll do A.G. Parry because I really liked that book. I thought it was really well done.
Nice.
It's a good retelling.
I didn't know it was A Tale of Two Cities. I'd actually never seen this book before, about A Far Better Thing.
Yeah, highly recommend. Really good.
To my to-be read.
Yeah, I listened to it, so.
Oh. Wow.
I would recommend that as well.
Okay.
Mystical Magical Bowl? Yeah, always.
Mystical Magical Bowl.
Always. Am I pulling?
I don't know. What is the spirit telling you?
The spirit tells me yes. It's my turn.
It's my turn.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh.
A book. Sorry, I had to read it first to myself. I don't know why.
Processing.
Great content, especially if you're listening.
Just silence. I'll edit it after the audio.
A book that made you put your hand to your heart and say, "Aw." That's so specific. You wrote that.
I did.
You. It's like so specific, but I'm sure I have many.
Is it ah or ah?
I mean, I read
feel like
it.
it's ah.
I read it as ah,
Okay.
but it's you don't.
You
give
have so
me
many?
indication. I read books like that all the time. That's like one
Okay.
of my favorite type of book is
Great.
ah.
What is it?
Oh, I have to think for a minute. They don't come to mind like that,
I know,
but I know I read them a lot. I think I know we've already mentioned this, but I think for me,
Sure.
the ultimate book is The House by the Cerulean Sea.
By TJ Klune.
Yeah, I just feel like
Yeah.
that book definitely 100. When I think of a
It
book
goes,
that makes my heart just so happy, it was that book. I think that book's perfection in that
It is
realm.
perfection. And to add on to the TJ Klune train here, I'll say for mine, Under the Whispering Door, which is
Oh,
his
yeah.
book about death and like limbo, but it's
Yeah.
just really sweet story.
Yeah.
And there are many moments where you go, oh,
Yeah.
but like in a sweet way. Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know that sound very well.
Yeah. So I think,
Yeah.
TJ Klune definitely, I think, not maybe,
But I'm
not
gonna
all
pay
of his
attention
books.
because I know there are other books I've read that have kind of given me that like warm fuzzy feel.
Yeah.
But I can't think of it.
But he's the author that I think of first and
Yeah.
foremost, for
Yeah.
sure. So I think
Yeah.
that's my answer.
Yeah, I guess so.
Let's dive into our topic of the day,
Yes, we're doing
which is
Deep
the
dive.
Between Earth and Sky trilogy by Rebecca Roanhorse, Black Sun being the beginning,
first, and then look
and
at
then
this
Fever
beautiful
Sun,
cover.
and then Mirrored
Mirrored,
Head
and
Evans.
The eyes are spooky.
My
Which are
goodness.
actually inaccurate because in the book her eyes are indigo. In here
That's
they're
true.
multicolored, which is
No,
very.
they are multicolored in the book too.
Oh really?
Yeah.
This is part of the deep dive. Are you sure?
Yeah, especially when she turns into the siren, her eyes change,
Oh, okay.
and she's clearly the siren right there.
I think she's the fish right here.
That's the
Spoiler.
siren.
Oh yeah, so I assume we have to do.
It's a spoiler. We're doing a deep dive.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Where to begin?
I know. Yeah. Okay. I know. I
First
wish
of
I'd
all,
written notes.
What I want to say to frame this in the reading I've done, I was thinking of like if I just off the top of my head had to say top 3 fantasy trilogies that I've reread or that I've read and would reread, it would be this trilogy by Rebecca Roanhorse, N.K. Jemison's Broken Earth series, and The Kingdom of Copper Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. So this fits in that that realm for me as top 3 overall of just like excellent world building, multiple characters that you're following with very detailed backstories. I don't know how she does such a good job of creating these very complex characters and following their line and their stories over quite a long time.
In general, overall, what did you think of the series and like maybe highlights for you?
So first, like I started reading this when the first book came out, which I believe was 2022.
Oh, look.
Will you fact check me on that? And so I had to wait for each of the books
2020.
to come out. 2020. So over the last, and the third book came out 2024, I believe. Pretty sure.
I'll check
I have
that
it
too.
right here.
We have the books.
2025.
Oh yeah, 2024.
It is 2024. I wrote it down in my own notes wrong. So I read it over the span of the 4 years and had to wait. And the first overall thought is after I read the first book, I could not bear to wait. It was so
I can't even
painful
imagine because it
waiting.
ends so specifically.
Oh, yeah. The first book is kind of building up the foundation for the whole story arc, but really it's also building up your investment and love in these 2 main characters, Serapio and Nara.
No.
No.
Something else. No. Well, there's also
There's Naranpa, Shala.
Yeah.
Shiala. And so it was very hard to wait. And then the last book came out this year, and then Paige started reading them. So I reread and then reread them all very close to each other. And getting to read it all the way through. It was almost, I almost think there's a little like, it was amazing, but I almost think there's something about like waiting instead of, it's like watching a Netflix show 1 week at a time instead of binging.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. I would not have been able to wait, because I will say like this, yeah, like you said, this first book is honestly like not actually a lot of is happening. It's like you're the whole time you're following all these characters that are leading to this apex event. That happens right at the end and then explodes, and then that's the end of the book. Which sounds like, why would you want that? But it's like, it's so good.
Yeah, and
I mean, things are happening in the story, obviously, but like
when you read it
building
and
something.
Said that to me the first time, I was like, "What are you talking about? There's so much going on in the first book." And then I reread it and realized there wasn't. But for me, I didn't feel like there wasn't much going on because
I didn't feel like there wasn't much going on.
I was so fascinated by the story and like arc of who this crow god is. So I guess we should give a little bit of premise around what the story is about. So you start with this character named Serapio. Who is journeying to a city on a ship. And on the voyage, you're slowly getting backstory of why he's on the ship and his childhood and how he has been raised to become the fulfillment of the prophecy and to become a god, the crow god of this clan of people called the Carrion Crow. And so you're in this land with all these different peoples and systems and religious beliefs. And you end up being introduced to characters of these different clans. Now I'm going to pass the baton to you.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't want, I didn't think, I wasn't bored. That's not my point. But like the whole, I mean, the way the books and chapters are structured is they're this many days out from the confluence, I think.
Yeah, the confluence is this big eclipse, the solar eclipse that is happening, which is the name of the Black Sun. Yeah,
but you're getting to know, it's told for multiple POVs. And I feel like all of the characters are done really well. I think in the first book, I was more invested in Serapio and the other one who's on the ship, the siren, what's her name? Shiala's stories. But by the end of it, I'm invested in everybody's stories. But yeah, the first book I thought was really, really good. You get to the end of Black Sun and you go to, what is the second one called?
Oh, Fevered Star.
Fevered Star. And like at the end of Black Sun, all of the characters are dispersed. Like you've grown to love all these people and all of their connections, and then they're totally blown apart. And then what I will say is that I've never read a trilogy crafted the way that she crafted it, whereas the middle book is the shortest book of the three. I've never seen that. Middle books are always like the longest. People sometimes complain about middle books. I always like middle books because I'm like, well, you know the characters, and now you can get into the meat of the story. But a lot of people only like first and last books. That's not me. Anyways, no, that's not the point of the story.
I don't like writing the middle book because that's what I'm doing right now, and I am hating my process.
For me, I always like middle books the best, but this is the shortest one, and that one's like more concentrated. A lot more is going on, and then again at the end of that one, everybody's pulled apart even farther. Yeah. And I told her at the end of Fevered Star. When I started Mirrored Heavens, I was like, I don't know where this is going, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. And
then like 2 days later, you're like, I changed my mind.
Yeah, I literally started reading it and then was like, I'm wrong. Well, I was like reading the beginning, and like even in the third book, she starts adding these backstories to these other characters that were side characters before, and now they have a POV, and you're learning all of these other characters from them, and I'm like, whoa, she's bringing in a shit ton of new things.
So many characters
in the third book, and I'm like, how is she gonna round this out in a satisfying way? But then like halfway through, or even like a fourth of the way through, I was like so invested. I mean, she did such a good job in the first two books of getting you interested in all of these characters, that it was like, oh, now I'm so invested. I did the whole time think, how is she going to end this? Like, even towards the end, I was like, there's still so much that needs to be tied together. How is she going to end this? And then she does end it in a very satisfying way. But We haven't really spoiled anything.
Well, we're still in the first book.
Yeah. Okay.
So a little more context on the first book. So this is set in a pre-Columbian mythological world civilization, just for context. So we've got Serapio of the Carrion Crow. We have Shiala, who is a Teak, but she's like a disgraced Teak, and the Teak are this people of women who live on an island. They're basically sirens, and there are no men on the island. But she is like the disgraced daughter of the queen. And she is depicted in book 1 as just a swaggering, brassy pirate. Well, she's captain. She's a sea captain.
Yeah.
But is brawling and having sex with everyone. Genuinely. And she's just hilarious. Whereas the juxtaposition against Serapio, who's he's blind. Which is part of the...
And he's been blinded by his mother.
His mother blinded him as part
and
of
then
preparing
killed
him. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Preparing him
to make him a god. And then his whole life is around becoming a god. And then as soon as he's blinded, his father rejects him.
Yeah.
So he's kind of left alone.
Yeah, because he's bought into his mother's belief of like, oh, I am to be this god and this is my life and her abuses to me don't matter. Whereas the dad is like, she's abusing you. How can you buy into this? And then kind of, that was my take on it. Like he's finally like, fuck it, I'm done. But when you meet them, she's asked to charter this voyage, to captain this voyage by this high official named Balaam, I think is how they say it. And he is the cargo. And he is very serious and quiet and very spiritual. And then she's like drinking and singing sea shanties. And I just love that foil of characters, that they become the central.
Yeah, they're the central romance. Yeah, and I will say, like, it's a very good romance. And I wish I had done this. I had meant to underline, but there's like a... So they start to... Well, first, everybody's afraid of Serapo because he's got... His eyes have been sewed shut by his mother. And his teeth have been dyed red.
And jagged.
He has these tattoos all over his body
that are markings of the god.
Yeah, so when people see him, they're always like freaked out by him. But she's just immediately interested, not in him, but in like, but like not freaked out by him.
And he's never had sex. Spoiler.
Yeah, well, he hasn't done a lot of things. He's never had friends. He's never interacted with anyone. But their romance in the first one is so good. Like he comes out. So since she's a siren, she has control of the seas, and like bad weather is coming, so she's singing to the sea to help get them through. And he comes out and he wants her to tell him stories. And there's this passage, and I wish I had written it down, but it's like one of the most romantic things I've ever read. It was beautiful.
Well,
it was like, I was like, man, I wish that a man would describe me that way. It was just beautiful. I remember I texted you after I read it, and I wish I had highlighted it. But
I want to know what the actual...
But like it's the beginning is so good. You finally get to where they're headed, because you also have the character Narampa, who is the high priestess. We should say that the reason that Serapio's mother wants him to be a god is that the Carrion Crow clan got like wiped out or something. Something terrible happened to them in the past. What was it?
The Night of Knives.
Yeah, where they were just basically slaughtered, and the mother wants revenge on that. And
on the clan, I think they're the Sun Clan.
Yes. But there's many different clans in this one area, including the Carrion Crow. And Narapa is the Sun Priestess and also the High Priestess.
Yeah.
And she's trying to move them forward in a new way to bring more clans together. And they're preparing for the same large event that means something to all of them, but I don't remember even what. Maybe it's just because it's an eclipse.
But they're preparing for the convergence, which is this big spiritual event.
And what Serapio needs to do is kill the Sun Priest.
On the night of the convergence.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what you're building to throughout the whole book is you're getting Serapio there. Yeah. And then you're learning about his past and the people have taught him to do what he's been taught to do, which he's like a great fighter. He can he can control crows. He has relationships with crows and he can look through their eyes.
Yes, he can see, and he can become a crow.
And he can talk to them. Yeah, well, you don't learn that till later. You don't learn that in book 1. But you're kind of like leading there, and you get to the place, and then that's where, I cannot remember her name.
Narampa?
No, the other one.
Ikton?
No, the one that is the love interest for
Shiala.
Shiala. When I read the book, and I'm dyslexic, so when I read the names, it was like blah, blah, blah.
There are so many names, because you do, so you're following Serapio and Shiala, and then through that you're also beginning to meet Narampa, the Sun Priest, and some of her close allies, the Priest of Knives, Ikton.
That's an ex-lover in this book.
An ex-lover who's supposedly her guardian as the High Priestess. But then you start to find out that she was pulled basically from the slums, and she is not of the Watchers, the Sky Maid clans, so she's kind of looked down on. And you meet her brother.
That's in book 2. That doesn't happen in book 1.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
You're skipping ahead.
I'm looking at the beginning of the book. I remember when I first started to read this, they have at the beginning this like directory of all the characters, and I looked at it and I was like, I don't know if I have it in me, but she does such a good job. You don't even, it's not like reading The Brothers K by Dostoevsky, which is such a academic reference, but there's so many names in there that sound the same and you get lost because it's another language. This is also another language made up, but she does such a good job of characterizing them that you don't.
Yeah, I didn't need to.
Yeah, I didn't have to reference back or.
No.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay.
Anyhow, I was bringing that up because once you get to where you're going, Shiala and Serapio have this like beautiful day together.
Right before the convergence.
So romantic, and then he's kind of like she wants to have sex with him. He's like, I can't have sex with you because I'm going to become a god, and that's just not my journey.
And he's supposed to die.
Yeah, he knows he's going to his death, and so he's kind of like, I don't, I love you, but I don't want to do the like I'm turning into a god and I'm dying, and that's my fate. But like I want to give you this wonderful day, and it is wonderful, and it's well depicted. Mm-hmm. And then you do come to the end of the book, the climax of the book, which is at the very end of the book, is Narampa gets, what is the word I want? Like, she gets backstabbed by her own people because someone is trying to take over as high priest.
Yeah.
And they kidnap her, and they're trying to kill her. Mm-hmm. So she is actually not at the event when Serapia comes and tries to slaughter everyone, but there is someone wearing the Sun Priest mask, and he kills that person and immediately knows you're not the right person. Yeah. And so it doesn't work. Does he meet Ikton in this book at the very end, or is it at the start of the second one?
But Okoa comes in and kind
of
rescues him.
That's what I meant. Okoa,
yeah, it happens.
Yes, yeah. Okoa is another character that I absolutely loved.
He's in the like the guard, so to speak, of the military branch, and
he's also a part of Carrion Crow.
And he's a part of Carrion Crow. And Carrion Crow is kind of split on those that believe in this crow god and those that are like, he's an imposter.
Oh, yeah. And Okoa is a part of the ruling family. He's the brother, he's the son of the mother who dies, and then his sister takes over, and he's meant to be guarding. And I remember in this first book, they kind of like talk about Okoa like as a one-off, and then I immediately was like, oh, I want to know who that character is. And then like the next chapter, you have his POV. So I was like, okay, Rebecca Roanhorse, thank you for reading my mind. I really want to know this character, and you immediately get to know him. But he's the one who finds Serapio and like takes him in.
Yeah.
At the end of the slaughtering, and that's kind of where the bookend is. Narampa's the last thing you know about Narampa is she has jumped off a bridge, and you think she's dead, but
she calls on a witch.
A witch comes to. Oh, so she does. You do meet the brother in the first book. Yeah, I forgot about that.
I wasn't going to correct you.
Yeah.
But
you can correct me. I was wrong. Yeah, she does, and her brother has a witch. At this point in the book, Narampa doesn't believe in witches or spiritualism or magic. Like, you're not allowed to believe in that anymore if you're a part of these high priestess. So she calls on the witch, and the witch, you don't know, but the witch is trying to bring her back alive. You don't know if she's alive until you get to the second book.
Yeah.
She is alive in the second book. And then the second book is Serapio coming into his power and literally becoming
he did die. And
a
then
leader.
it's just like, shoot.
Yeah, now what do I do? Now what do I do? It's Okoa trying to come to terms with who he wants to be loyal to, what he wants to believe.
Yep.
And then Narapia is also, what is she doing? Oh yeah, her story makes me so
There's
sad.
so many stories. Like we're not going to give you a
All of
full
them, yeah.
dialogue of each book.
Yeah.
But she has her own personal journey that she has to go through, kind of digging up what's going on with the Sun Priests, digging up her own family heritage, who are clanless and looked down on. And
her brother is like a criminal.
Book
but she
2,
goes and lives with them.
He's like a, what do you call it? A boss lord?
Kingpin.
Kingpin,
whatever.
thank you. Boss lord. I think it's book 2 ends with Serapio and her meeting, right?
At the very end, they come together and he doesn't kill her.
To fight. They're like supposed to finally fight.
Yeah, she goes to him to fight him, and then I don't remember why they didn't fight each other, but they kind of see each other.
Connected with each other in a way, because they've both been
They're both being controlled by these gods. Because after she gets healed by the witch, she all of a sudden has these powers.
And she becomes the embodiment of the sun
god. Yeah, and so she has to now be like, oh, actually, I am magical, and I have to change some of my beliefs.
Yeah.
And they don't kill each other. And she goes off to learn more about her powers in the third book.
Yeah, she goes and has a mentor and starts learning about dream walking, and there's a whole nother thing. But the culmination of book 2, like, I think the critical point that you need to carry forward is that they come together finally to actually fulfill the prophecy, but they both recognize in each other that they're these regular people that are bearing the vengeance of their gods, but aren't necessarily theirs. And do they want to carry out this vengeance when they're actually people?
Yeah.
And that's leads you into book 3.
Yeah. And then in book 3, you get the point of view of Balaam, who in the first book is just the financier, but actually is pivotal to all of it, him and the mom. And he is actually Serapio's father. Which you don't learn until the very end. Well, I knew pretty early on. I don't know if you realized it before they explicitly said it, but as soon as I knew he was in love with the mother, I was like, well, that's Serapio's father.
Yeah.
And the whole in Serapio's storyline, you have this prophecy the witch tells him, which is consistent, and he has to meet these sort of things to get his victory. And he doesn't necessarily know what they mean, and he's trying to figure them out, and he's having to do these things that he doesn't necessarily want to be doing, but he's kind of embraced of, like, I'm a god of killing, and that's who I am. Because he's still divided from Shiala. I cannot remember the name, okay?
Open up the book and look at the title when you need to reference it.
Well, just so you know, I didn't read the name when I read it in the book, which is why I can't remember it.
Got it.
But they don't come back together until like the middle of the third book.
Pretty late.
Yeah, it takes a really long time.
Yeah.
But her coming back in does help him humanize him again, and him being like, oh, what am I doing?
Yeah. And kind of help him rethink. He's basically been living as this prophecy is destiny, and so he's trying to do things to make sure that as the destiny comes into reality, that people he loves aren't hurt. Yeah. And then he kind of gets to a point where he's like, why am I letting this control my destiny?
Yeah. But I feel like that third book, all of a sudden you get Balaam's backstory. Much. And you're like, whoa, holy shit. There was a lot going on in the background that I think is so interesting. Like, Balaam is another character that he is such a good antagonist. I wanted, like, at the end when he like as he moves along, he slowly becomes more and more evil, and he's getting overtaken because he started working in some dark magic, which people warn against, and he's slowly
using blood magic.
Yeah, and he's slowly getting overtaken. He has this very close relationship with his cousin, and it's the one person left of his of this group of people who have come together to create this god to ruin the Sun Priestess for this woman that they all loved. And at the very end, when he kills his cousin, I was like, no! I was rooting for him the whole time. I was like, he's going to turn it around. He's going to turn it around. I was like rooting for him the whole time, because you also get his backstory. He's such a good antagonist, because you do like him. He is charismatic.
And he is driven by a woman.
Yeah.
Serapio's mother.
Yes, he's completely in love with her. He even tries to move her away from this quest.
Yeah.
But as soon as she
She's set on vengeance.
As soon as she dies, that sort of like changes everything for him. I think if she had lived and been able to move away from it, he would have had a very different story. But either way, I was like, it's interesting to add this kind of like into the third book, this whole backstory. You're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But
that was so impressive.
Good.
I feel like writing a trilogy, a fantasy trilogy where there's so much world building and backstory, like she already had so much going on, and just the brilliance of her then being like, and
here's all of this information with this side character that you just thought was some rich guy.
Yeah.
Actually, he's pivotal to everything.
Yeah.
And has been pulling the strings this whole
amazing.
time.
I want to know about her writing process and like how she works.
So well done.
I'm going to be doing some.
And then it ends. And I feel like a very satisfying. First of all, you're waiting this whole time for Serapio to be connected again with Zawala.
Shiala.
I don't know why. Shiala.
It's an X, but
Shiala. Okay, got it. And they do finally come together, and it's been so long that I was a little bit like, is this going to be satisfying? Oh my god, it's satisfying.
And Naranpa, the sun priest, also is in love with her. What do they call her? Her knife?
Yeah.
Her guard, Ikton, and the two of them do
Their
finally come together as
well.
Yeah.
There's
really
so many
beautiful.
love stories going on here. I think all of them are well done. All of them are satisfying. And it does a little bit of a happy ending.
I pulled
at first you're kind of like, oh no, I don't think this is going to end happy. I was like afraid. I never ever. I'm the type of reader that I need to know how something ends.
Oh, I was. Sure.
It took me forever to finish this book because I liked it so much. I didn't want it to end.
Yeah.
And I kept.
And I was worried that my characters were going to get killed off.
I was like she's going to devastate me. She's going to devastate me, and I really can't handle that. I don't want that to happen. And then it didn't happen, and I'm so happy that she didn't just. I feel like she ended it in a way that is. I'm gonna read. This is what I want.
I'm gonna read maybe to close this out if we're close to it. The first sentence of the first book, and then the way it ends, because I feel like it's such a nice bookmark.
Okay.
So, bookend is actually the phrase I was going for.
Yeah.
But also a bookmark. Chapter 1, the beginning of the trilogy, is from Serapio's perspective, and it's. Today he would become a god. His mother told him so. So that's how it starts. And then pretty quickly he's on the ship. And how they meet is they're telling each other stories. And Shiala is a good storyteller. And it makes him feel human hearing these stories.
Yeah.
So
he gets to learn about the world because he literally has never been a part of the world.
Third book, after so many people have been slaughtered and there's been clan wars and deceits and all these things, they're finally reunited. And at the end... they're cooking. He's like making her a stew, and she goes, "Perhaps while we wait, I can tell you a story. I know a great one about a crow and a mermaid." And then the very last sentence, he says, "Yes, tell me the story." And she says, "Then listen well, Serapio. This is only the beginning." Which I just love. Like, I got shivers.
I know. I was like, more.
But I just love this so often when you have these epic things.
Rebecca Roanhorse now just write their love story in that. Like the aftermath of them just being happily ever after. I would love that with their son.
Or probably not. They're too traumatized. But just the fact that, like, I just love the author being like, this isn't the end. This is the end of this book, but this is not the end of their story.
Yeah.
It's just so well done.
It was very well done. I think like the things that made this for me a perfect fantasy series is the world building was fantastic. Yeah. The character development was amazing. I obviously read romance and like romance, but can be picky about it.
It was balanced for me
in fantasy. Yeah,
who's not huge on romance,
but it's like the romance is integral to the story, but it's not like what the story is made around. But like if you took it out, you don't have the same story.
Well, it's like thinking about like the Greek mythologies, and if you take out the love stories of Greek mythologies, you don't have all the wars and all the things.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's part of
it's very important part of the book that does drive it and does build some of that tension. Yeah. You are waiting for these two characters to be reunited. Because you know they're good together and you want to see that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And something else we didn't say, we talked about Naranpa realizing she is the manifestation of the sun god, Serapio being the manifestation of the carrion crow, and eventually Shiala
Oh yeah,
becomes the teak god.
She's the
She
teak god, the
literally
manifestation of the
converts
teak god.
not just as a siren. This is what I was trying to say earlier.
Yeah.
She always has the siren call, but she fully turns into a fish.
Yeah. Yes.
So
so they're all gods in their own right.
Yeah,
all
but
of
dealing
the main
with
characters.
being humans with gods and
Yeah.
having almost like a second consciousness in their head.
Yeah. It's also built around a world that you don't usually see, so that's always nice.
Beautiful.
I think and I feel like it was crafted and done in a unique way. I don't feel like it's a fantasy story that I've read before.
Yeah.
Which is why for me I'm like, oh yeah, this is a perfect book. And like I said, I have never in my life been like, oh, I'm gonna take my time reading this. I am not that type of person. I need to know how things end. But I was like,
I'm gonna savor this.
I don't want this to end. I know I don't want this to end, and I'm gonna be sad when it's over, and I'm gonna have a book hangover. And I did. I haven't read a fantasy book since because it's like, well, that was too good, and I need to have space away from fantasy because it won't live up to what she did.
So I think I was just thinking I would make 2 recommendations of other books to read if you've read this and like it and want to read more like it, or read it are going to, and just the indigenous peoples of South America kind of mythology. I think I have this one. Did you read this book?
No.
Oh, you would like this book, Paige. This is Gods of Jade and Sorrow. Nope, Shadow. And it's Silvia Moreno Garcia who wrote Mexican Gothic, and she's written so many books. She's just very prolific in the last 5 years. But this is one of her earlier books, and it is like a Mayan folklore, but like really good romance, really good mythology, different from your medieval fantasies that we're kind of stuck in. So I'd recommend that. And then I also read this year Malinali by Veronica Chapa, which is also a Mayan retelling of true events, but from a folkloric take. So if you are intrigued in this and read it, these are also very good.
Okay.
We hope you
final
haven't spoiled it so much that you don't read it. You should still read it.
I hope that you've already read it if you're watching this. Yeah. Otherwise, that's weird of you. Like, I wouldn't want to read I wouldn't want to watch a spoiler review of something that I hadn't already read. So I'm hoping you've read it.
Yeah. And have comments or favorite characters.
Yeah.
We were talking about before we had both finished Mirrored Heavens. Maybe we'll end on a joke. We were talking about the character Okoa, who's part of the Carrion Crow. Yeah. And we were talking about how all of a sudden there are all these love interests. And I was like, does Okoa have a love interest? And Paige is like, well, his crow. and it's so true. It's so true. The more I got further into Mirrored Heaven, I was like, oh yeah, like he's
crow.
Fully in love with the crow.
Yeah. That's his, and he's also a great character, 100%. I was rooting for him, and he had a storyline that I regularly was like, no, don't you dare kill this guy off, and she does, and I was upset, but that's okay.
I forgot, so thanks for breaking my heart.
Not when you expect her to.
Yeah.
He dies later, and he feels settled and happy about it. So I do think she doesn't do deaths in a way that where I feel like. When he did die, I was sad, but I was also like, well, that's an ending he would be okay with. Yeah. Which made me feel better.
I do remember now. I was really sad about that.
Yeah, but no, I definitely was like, I just wanted him, because I
was a little mad about that.
He has a rough go.
Yeah.
He has a rough storyline the whole time. He's having a hard time the whole time, and I'm like, I just want this poor boy.
Yeah, he's pretty impressive.
To get what he deserves. But I do think I was satisfied with his ending. I mean, I was sad when he passed away, but I was satisfied with his ending.
Yeah. So that is Between Earth and Sky, and our little fantasy deep dive. To start off.
Very good series.
2026.
Yeah. Please let us know all the parts that you like. We can gush about it in the comments. And we'll see you. We'll catch you next time.
Cheers.